They say bad choices come at a price. But what if the price is your future, your dignity, or something even more precious? This is the story of Kina, a brilliant girl whose life took a dark turn the moment she chose to follow the wrong crowd. A stolen night, a dangerous secret, and one mistake that would change everything, forever. Before we dive into this gripping tale, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from today, and if you love stories of courage and change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Kina was the pride of her family and her small village. Her parents worked tirelessly so she could attend Hillspring Academy, a prestigious school far from home. "Focus on your studies, Kina," her father would say. "Education is the key to unlocking your future." At first, Kina promised herself she wouldn't get distracted, but that was before she met Arya and Naya, two girls who seemed to have everything: money, popularity, and confidence. They wore designer clothes, carried the latest gadgets, and walked through the school halls as if they owned the world. Kina admired them, even envied them, but most of all, she wanted to belong. One afternoon, Arya leaned against Kina's desk in the library. "Why are you hiding here like a ghost? Come out with us tonight. There's a party downtown." Kina looked up, startled. "I don't think I can. I promised my parents—" "Your parents aren't here, are they?" Naya cut in, twirling her hair. "Don't be boring, Kina. You can't live in books forever." Kina hesitated. Deep down, she knew they were trouble, but their words lingered in her mind. "Don't you want to live?" That night, after sneaking out of the dorm, Kina found herself squeezed into Naya's car. The city lights whizzed by as the girls laughed and applied makeup in the back seat. Arya handed Kina a short red dress. "I can't wear this," Kina said nervously. "Why not?" "It's perfect." "You don't want to look like you're still in the village, do you?" Arya teased. Not wanting to be left out, Kina reluctantly changed. The person staring back at her in the mirror looked glamorous and a little unfamiliar. The club was loud, chaotic, and overwhelming. Neon lights flashed, and strangers danced in tight circles. Kina clung to her friends, but Arya and Naya quickly disappeared into the crowd, leaving her alone. That's when he appeared, a man in his late 20s, dressed in a crisp suit. "Lost, are you?" he said with a smile. Kina tried to explain she was waiting for her friends, but he handed her a glass. "Relax. One sip won't hurt." She shook her head. "No, thank you. You're too pretty to be so uptight." His tone was still smooth, but his eyes had turned sharp. Kina's heart raced. She turned to leave, but Arya suddenly reappeared. "Kina, come on, don't ruin the fun." The man backed off, but his stare lingered. That night was the beginning of Kina's slow unraveling. Arya and Naya convinced her to sneak out more often. At every party, there were strangers like the man from the club, people who made Kina feel uneasy, but whom Arya and Naya treated like kings. Soon, Kina stopped attending her morning classes. Her teachers noticed. Her grades slipped. Worst of all, Arya introduced her to Nico, a man with a calm voice and a dangerous smile. Nico showered Kina with attention and gifts, jewelry, phones, even money. "You deserve it," he told her. "You're not like those other girls." But one night, everything changed. Nico invited Kina to his apartment, promising a small gathering. Arya and Naya came along, assuring Kina it was just a fun night. At first, everything seemed normal. Music played softly, and people laughed over drinks. But after a while, Nico took Kina's hand. "Come with me for a moment," he whispered. He led her to a quiet room and closed the door. "I want to go back to the party," Kina said nervously. "Relax," Nico said, sitting beside her. "I did all this for you. You owe me." Kina froze. His tone was gentle, but his hands were forceful. Her mind screamed for her to run, but her body couldn't move. Kina returned to school that night in tears. She didn't speak to Arya or Naya again. Weeks later, when she started feeling sick, she knew something was terribly wrong. Terrified, Kina tried to handle it alone. She bought pills online, hoping they would fix everything. Instead, they nearly killed her. Kina collapsed in her dorm room and woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by machines and her weeping parents. The doctor's words were final. She survived, but the damage is irreversible. She will never have children. Kina felt like her life had shattered. She whispered to her parents, "I'm sorry, I ruined everything." Arya and Naya were expelled for their involvement. Nico was arrested, but no punishment could undo the pain. Kenna returned to her village, her dreams forever altered. Her story spread as a warning to others. Be careful who you trust. The wrong choices can cost you everything you hold dear. I thought fitting in would make me happy, but it only stole the future my parents worked so hard for. True courage is choosing to stay true to yourself when the world tempts you to be someone you're not. The friends you choose can determine your destiny, so choose wisely.